If only this horse had been properly trained, is a recurring objection when it comes to dressage riders and their performance. This objection is also used when we talk about breeding changes. The question is, can't they ride anymore to classical rules? Our focus is on internationally successful dressage riders who have worked for years to improve their seat, their posture, and who are able to compete up to the highest level. Let us look at the career of a horsewoman who since the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro is the most successful dressage rider worldwide. She gained 10 Olympic medals, 6 gold medals and 4 silver medals. She won 7 times the World Cup and 13 times the European Championship, as well as the title German champion. We are talking about Isabel Wert. Looking closer at her career, in 1991 she had her first international success riding Gigolo. This pairing won during the European Championship the individual competition as well as the team title. Isabel Wert and Gigolo could repeat this success 4 times in a row. They gained 4 Olympic gold medals, 2 silver medals, 4 world titles and 4 German championships. With this winning streak, Gigolo FRH is still considered the most successful dressage horse in history. He was born in 1983 and retired in 2000 at the age of 17. Gigolo was the very top of dressage competition for around about 10 years. He died at the age of 26. Gigolo moves harmoniously. This picture shows the suspended trot. Pictures like this one are not fashionable anymore in dressage for quite a while. Today it's all about spectacular movements like these. Let's recall the individual phases in trot and the horse's head posture. It's during the suspension phase that the front leg is the furthest forward. The nose points toward the place where the front hoof will tread. Gigolo displays this natural 2-stroke movement. The diagonal pair of legs move simultaneously and in parallel. If we now look at the legs of modern dressage horses, we can plainly see the correlation of the movement has been lost. The diagonal pair of legs no longer move simultaneously and in parallel. Excessive thrust from the hindquarters in combination with a forward and upward reaching front leg results in a single-wheeled suspension. Each leg moves in a separate direction. These spectacular movements are exhausting and wear-prone. In the wild, no horse would use them. In order to escape from danger, gallop is the best choice, and in order to impress mares or intimidate rivals, the stallion resorts to passage-like movements in an upright, imposing position. Here man has intervened. In his quest for the extraordinary and spectacular, he selected for decades horses with such elaborate movements, both in the breeding evaluation and in the assessment of dressage performances. Let's take a look at the horses' backs in extended trot with the biggest impetus. According to the textbook, they should expand their frame, stretching the back and neck, and take the nose in front of the vertical. The top line should be adapted to the extended movement of the legs, and last but not least, this movement coming from an active hindquarter should lift the back up into an uphill tendency. That is not the case here. However, the gait pattern has not changed solely in the extended trot. The collected movements are affected too. Gigolo could still perform a rhythmic piaffe with legs moving simultaneously and diagonally. With Satchmo it's quite a different matter. He got famous at the Hong Kong Olympics for bucking during the Piaffe. The lanky Weltmeier descendant, warum nicht, was always endeavoring to please, without great charisma. We have already shown Don Johnson in our previous videos. His Piaffes look strained, with unmistakable tact problems, an erratic footfall, and with a swayback. Bella Rose is subject to her strong thrust and moves in Piaffe with too much forward momentum. Viagold displays hypermobility in the joints and in her back and neck. The increased flexibility has changed the horse's movements. This affects the head posture too. The neck is easier to bend. Many horses avoid the contact with reins. Riding with unyielding hands further enhances the problem. Gigolo has its head on the vertical and his nose points to the front fetlock. Satchmo's head is slightly behind the vertical and his nose points to the carpal joint. Warum nicht's head is behind the vertical, his nose points to the cannon bone. Don Johnson's head is slightly behind the vertical and his nose points below the carpal joint. Bella Rose's head is clearly behind the vertical, her nose points at the carpal joint. Viagold's head is also clearly behind the vertical and her nose points at the carpal joint. This is an unmistakable development caused by the changed breeding selection. Isabel Wert was able to present Gigolo according to the classical rules with his head at the vertical. With this horse she was about 10 years extraordinarily successful in international dressage competitions. Bella Rose she rides with the head behind the vertical. So far the mare could only gain one title with a team. Bella Rose keeps getting injured and has to spend long periods of recovery. Gigolo and Bella Rose exemplify how the motivation and health of hot top horses have developed over a period of roundabout 35 years. The rider is the same. She has certainly not lost or forgotten the skills with which she started her career, but continuously learned more and more over this period. What has changed is the body of the horses. It got weaker and can no longer bear the demands of dressage competition. In the 70s, people became concerned about the excessive strain on the joints in show jumping. In contrast, dressage was praised for keeping the horses healthy. There has been a reverse caused by the breeding selection over the last 30 years. Nowadays, the statistical fitness for use of a dressage horse is significantly lower than that of a show jumper. These numbers, compiled by scientists, show how dramatically the fitness and efficiency of our horses have suffered.